Welcome back, friends. This is Jerry Heron here with you. Here to make another YouTube video, and I'm gonna do a type of different video rather than a video game collection or video game. I'm gonna be since there are exactly 19 more days until Christmas, and I thought I'd do some story time read-alongs with you guys, where I read you all a story. And the book I'm gonna read you is a Christmas book, and it's based off my favorite Christmas movie. It's Home Alone, the classic illustrated storybook. But it's based on the story and written by John Hughes and directed by Chris Columbus. Illustrated by Kim Smith. Now, this is a book I got for Christmas back in 2017 from my aunt. Front, side, and the back. Yep, see some nice pictures. And now I'm going to read you a story. We're going to have story time on my channel. This is my first story time video I ever have with you. So, let's get started. I'll read you the page and I'll show you the pages. I'll show you the pictures. So, alright. Here's the inside title. And here's the end sheet of the inside title. I'll read this. 8-year-old Kevin McAllister wished his family would disappear. He never thought his wish would come true. The classic movie you know and love is now an illustrated storybook for the whole family, complete with bumbling burglars, brilliant booby traps, and a little boy named Kevin who forced to defend himself. Can he keep the crooks from entering his house, and will his family return in time for Christmas? We'll wait and see. So there's the little intro there. Sorry, I've made some mistakes there. Just but I corrected them. There's the inside title and the little picture at the top. Kevin on his bed, so happy he's home alone. Yep, his wish comes true. He's happy, but then he takes a bath. So let's see what happens. This is for Eric and for all the smiles that this will bring you. So there was the end sheet. This is the inside title. So let's begin the story. 'Twas 3 nights before Christmas, and the McAllister family was getting ready to leave for vacation. Everyone was busy packing. Everyone except Kevin, who was busy getting into trouble. Go straight to bed, his mother demanded. That's enough trouble for one day. Lying in bed, Kevin could hear voices and laughter coming from downstairs. Everyone was having fun without him. I hope I never see my family again, Kevin whispered. I wish I was home alone. The next morning, the house was very, very quiet. No one was shouting. No one was running around. No one was telling Kevin to hurry up and eat his breakfast. No one was home. Finally, Kevin realized what had happened. I made my family disappear. For the first time ever, Kevin had the house all to himself. He raced up and down the halls. He jumped on all the beds. He ate a giant ice cream sundae for breakfast. That's a nice breakfast there, but a very unhealthy one and bad one. But I would imagine a kid doing that. He was home alone. No parent would let their kid have ice cream for breakfast. That's pretty funny, hey? After watching hours of television, he searched through his brother's private stuff and rode a toboggan down a giant mountain. Ah! He even tried his father's aftershave lotion. That was not a good idea. It stings. But sometimes it was scary to be all alone. Kevin was especially afraid of his next-door neighbor, Old Man Marlowe, was the scariest person who lived on their block. And that night, Kevin heard whispers outside the living room window. Burglars were snooping around his house. We all know who those are. Marv and Harry. Marv played by Daniel Stern and Harry played by Joe Pesci in the movie. But this is the animated storybook. But in the movie, Marv is Daniel Stern. Harry is Joe Pesci. You see, Marv said, most of the houses on this street are empty. Everyone is away for the holidays. Perfect, Harry said. We'll come back tomorrow night and steal everything. Kevin was so scared he dialed 911, but the telephone didn't work. The wires had been damaged in a snowstorm. After hiding under his parents' bed for a long time, Kevin decided that he was being silly. Only a wimp would be hiding, and I can't be a wimp. I'm the grown-up of this house, and I need to act like one. The next day was Christmas Eve, and Kevin had plenty of grown-up work to do. He walked to the grocery store and bought food. He put his clothes in the washing machine. He decorated a Christmas tree, and he hung Christmas stockings for his parents and brothers and sisters. I miss you guys, he whispered. I wish you would come back. Kevin's family always went to church on Christmas Eve, so that's what Kevin did too. After the service ended, he saw his scary next-door neighbor, Old Man Marley, sitting nearby. You don't have to be afraid, Mr. Marley said. The kids in the neighborhood have lots of spooky stories about me, but they're not true. After they talked for a while, Kevin realized that Mr. Marley was, in fact, a very nice man. Are you visiting anyone for Christmas? Kevin asked. No, Mr. Marley said. I miss my family and I like to see them, but my son and I are fighting. I said some angry words that I didn't mean. Kevin knew exactly how Mr. Marley felt. Kevin remembered wishing his family would disappear, but he hadn't really meant it. You should try talking to your son, Kevin said. Maybe I will, Mr. Marley said. When Kevin left the church, it was already dark. The burglars would be coming soon. He ran all the way home. Kevin made a plan that was full of booby traps. Yep, here are all the booby traps. He scattered toy cars and smeared tar on the basement steps. He made a big pile of feathers and hid sharp ornaments under the window sills. He sprayed water on the front steps and tied paint cans to ropes. He stretched a tripped wire through the hallway and built an escape route to his treehouse. At 9 o'clock, Marvin and Harry returned to the McAllister's house, ready to steal everything inside. They didn't know that Kevin had sprayed water all over the steps, or that the water had frozen to slick, slippery ice. The burglars stumbled into all of Kevin's traps. Yeah! Yow! Wah! Ew! Marvin and Harry slipped on the toy cars and were knocked over by paint cans. Kevin escaped through his bedroom window and ran next door to his neighbor's house. Unfortunately, Marvin and Harry were close behind. Now we've got you, kid, Harry said. Hold on. That book's coming off. Okay, come on. Mr. Marley arrived just in time. Whack, whack! He bonked the burglars with his snow shovel and called the police. Then he brought Kevin home. That night, Kevin left a note for Santa Claus along with some milk and cookies. He couldn't wait for Christmas morning. Dear Santa, I don't need any presents. Just bring back my family. Love, Kevin McAllister. When he woke up the next day, Kevin rushed into the living room. Mom, Dad, is anyone here? No one answered him. Then he heard a familiar voice. Kevin, is that you? His mother was home. I miss you so much, he said, giving her a giant hug. I miss you too, she said. Where are the others? Kevin asked. The front door flew open, and there they were. His father, his brothers and sisters, everybody was home at last. Are you okay? His father asked. I'm just happy you're all back, Kevin said. Merry Christmas. And that is the end of our story. And here's the back to the end sheet. And I'll read you the outro here. John Hughes wrote the story and screenplay of Home Alone. He also wrote and directed many popular films for teenagers and adults, including The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You're going to love them when you get a little older. Chris Columbus directed the movie Home Alone. He has also directed many of our celebrated family films, including Mrs. Doubtfire and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. He also directed The Chamber of Secrets too, but doesn't say for some reason. But he did direct also the Chamber of Secrets. He only directed the first two Harry Potter movies. Kim Smith illustrated this storybook adaptation of Home Alone, and just like Kevin McAllister, she likes to eat giant ice cream sundaes for breakfast. She lives in Alberta, Canada. And that's the end of the story. I hope you all enjoyed the story of Home Alone, the classic illustrated storybook, for my first story time video on this channel, and I'll see you in my next video. This is Jerry Heron, signing off.